Peace and grand rising, people. Peace and grand rising. Hope everybody had a phenomenal weekend. And I don't want to call it a weekend because ain't nothing weak about us. We still warriors, still strong, still fighting, still surviving. So I don't want to say that. But I do hope everybody had a pleasant day off. For those that did have a day off, you know what I'm saying? I hope you took the time out to be with your family or whatnot, do the necessary things that us family members do, which is spend time with each other. You know what I mean? I want everybody to understand that, time is very short. And I don't mean like life is short, but time is short. You know what I'm saying? Try to reach out to those that you're supposed to be reaching out to. Have a conversation with those that you're supposed to be having a conversation with. Don't neglect them for whatever reason it may be. If it's bitter, if you angry at somebody for whatever reason, if it ain't life threatening, if these people didn't put their hands on your family and your loved ones, you should be reaching out, man. You know what I'm saying? We should not be holding ourselves back from doing the necessary things, and that is loving and caring and being there for one another, right? I just wanted to just throw that out there. No, I had to come on today, and yes, I've been MIA, been dealing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday I was gonna do the podcast, didn't do it. Had to take care of this business, get this thing, get the ball up and rolling. You know what I'm saying? But yesterday I was having a conversation with a brother of mine, and shout out to the brother. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna say his name, but we was having a conversation, and within our conversation, we was basically just talking about the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a brother that I met through the Hebrew organization. You know what I'm saying? When I was a part of it, he was one of the solid brothers. And even when I was going through my trials and tribulations, that man always stayed solid. Never ran off, never did nothing. Always provided me with wisdom, always gave me a state of comfort, protection. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual enlightenment of what I thought was a spiritual enlightenment at the time, but he provided me with that. And now, lo and behold, the tables has turned where he's going through his trials and tribulations, and my job as the little bro is to provide that same support that he gave me. You know what I'm saying? He gave me that support, and I respected it, and it's only right that I give him that support. And we spoke for about an hour, and we was discussing a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things. One of the things that you guys are unaware of is that the Pope, the very first Pope that was ever introduced to the world, you guys are going to be shocked to find out that the very first Pope was Paul. Paul was the very first Pope. Paul was the Pope that you guys are seeing. He was the teacher of the ideology you guys are seeing today, right? But we was having this conversation, and I was basically asking him, how can you prove that we are the chosen people of the book? How would he be able to prove? If a scholar or anybody came to you, right? Let's just say a historian came to you and asked you that question. Hey, the Bible says this and that. How are you able to prove that, right? Now, 9 out of 10 times, this approval will come through Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? Everybody runs to this precept. I'm telling you, they run to this precept, but I'm telling you that that's not enough to have a vague argument and have people believing into such ideology, right? Cool. So how would you be able to prove that? He says that they took records, or they took our records and they mistranslated it and they created their own story. Now, the question that I asked when he said that is, okay, If they took our records, I'm like, okay, if they took our records, then in order for you to make such bold statement, you will first have to be able to have access to those records. Was you able to have access to those records? His response was no. Okay, cool. So if that's out the way, the next way to figure out that we are the chosen people will be the scientific approach. The scientific approach would be what? You would take DNA samples, right? Which means you would have to take the DNA samples from characters of the Bible, right? That has to be written in stone that now this is Abram's tomb. This is where he dwelled. This is where he died. This is where he was buried. You will have to then take DNA samples and then see if it matches up with everybody else. And when I mean everybody else, I'm talking about all the black people, all the slaves, all the individuals that was going through something, etc., etc. You got to be able to match those. And I asked him, would he be able to do that? And his response was no. Okay, so now here's two arguments that people will bring to the table that a lot of these brothers are not able to, a lot of these brothers aren't able to explain. And then the sad part is the fact that the book tells you that it's an allegory book. The book actually tells you that. Nobody pays attention. Do anybody know what the definition of allegory is? Please put it in the comments if you know what the definition of allegory is. If you know the definition of allegory, put it in the comments. Because the Bible tells you of allegory. And we overlook that. And what I told the brother was, I said, you know why we overlook that? Because in order for you to be a part of something, you have to first believe into the things that they're telling you. So when you put belief in front of you, you then minimize, or should I say, you then diminish logic, you diminish common sense. All of that don't mean nothing because now you are in a state of belief. So every time we have a conversation, you will see that brothers and sisters tend to say, well, I believe in this and I believe that this is what's going to happen. And even with the brother, you know what I'm saying? The brother was like, yeah, man, I believe that this is our records and they took it. I said, this is your belief, right? So can this be proven? Is this a fact? If it's not a fact, then it's hard for me to accept something that's not true, right? Cool. And with the state of belief, again, it takes you away from logical and common sense. Now, when you read the story, I'm gonna give you guys some food for thought. I'm gonna make you guys wake up. It's top of the top. You know what I'm saying? And then it's only right that we have this discussion, right? When you read the story, Adam and Eve, listen carefully to what I'm telling you. Adam and Eve, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all is the same story if you read it accordingly. It's the same story if you read it accordingly. I repeat, Eve, Adam, Abram, Isaac, Jacob are all the same story if you read it accordingly. Let's start with Adam. I'm going to give you some understanding. Let's start with Adam. Adam had two children. Key word, you see they start off with two children. He had two children that he kicked out of the kingdom. Two children, one got kicked out for disobeying, right? One got kicked out for disobeying, right? Cool. He committed murder. Right, the very first murder or the very first sin, according to some scholars, was the killing of Abel. But I thought it was the sin of Adam. But anyway, we'll have another conversation about that. Okay, so Cain kills Abel. Cain was then kicked out of the land. Right, wasn't penalized behind it. Not only was he not penalized, it was also told that if anybody was to touch him or violate him, curse will be upon you, right? This is not me saying this. This is the book that's saying that. Cool. Now, you go to Hagar. Let's go to Abram. Let's go to Abram. Abram had 2 children, right? One with the bondwoman, and one with the freed woman, right? Which is slavery in itself, because if you pay attention, you will know that the bondwoman was an Egyptian. Again, another genocidal approach, another genocidal evil writings when it's pertaining to people of color. But nobody want to listen. Cool, say no more. So now, Ishmael got kicked out of what? He got kicked out of God's house, right? The Lord's house, because of whatever his wife said. He got kicked out. Cool. He got kicked out. And what was his attributes? He was a wild man. What did God say was going to happen to him? He shall be blessed. That what was Cain? Wasn't Cain blessed? Didn't Cain start a whole country and have everything going according for him? This is a man that committed murder. And what was Ishmael's sin? He tried to kill Isaac, right? Similar, you guys are not similar to the story? Okay, let's fast forward to Jacob and Esau. What was Jacob and Esau's problem? What was their attributes? What was their skill set? One was a cunning hunter. Ishmael was wild and reckless like an animal, right? Cain, he was swift with his hands. He was given a beast. He was given the curse of a beast. Ishmael was a beast. Now you got Esau. Esau was the one that was a cunning hunter. A hunter. In order for you to be a cunning hunter, you have to be one with the beast, and that's what he was. Cool, not a problem. Like I said, we're here to seek wisdom and understanding, right? Cool. So Esau was a cunning hunter. Jacob lied, and then what happened to Jacob? Jacob got kicked out. Don't listen to the story of he said he had to run because your brother, I fear that your brother's going to kill you. No, the mother said Ishmael was mad that he gave his blessings unto Jacob. Esau was mad because the blessing was given unto Jacob. And what did he do? And then what did he do? Exactly. He requested that Jacob be kicked out. You go ahead and believe the story that the wife said, the mother said to leave. No, he got kicked out. And when he got kicked out, where did he go? Where did he dwell? It's the same manuscript, guys. You see, this is how they play with your emotions. This is why I try to tell you that this is allegory. The Bible tells you that this is an allegory. This is story. Allegory means story, a poem. When you look up the definition of the Bible is considered the greatest story ever told. Why are they referring to it as a story when it's supposed to be referred to as historical information that should be documented and can be proven? We can't prove nothing outside of religious European Jewish texts. You can't find absolutely nothing. You can't find any writings of an Exodus. You can't find any writings of walking around 40 years to allow the people to die off. If those people die off, there should be burials. Where's the grave sites? Where's the tombs? Where's this? Where's the bodies? Where's the camping areas? Where's the bottles that people use to take showers and all this? So was all these people walking around being dirty? Nobody's being cleanliness. Nobody's brushing their teeth. Nobody's taking showers. Nobody's taking dumps. None of these things is being spoken of, right? None of these things is being spoken of within this book that we're reading. Right? Right? I know. And the reason to it is because they told you have to believe. You have to believe. If you're not believing, then you will not understand or you will not get the truth. And even when I was speaking with the brother, right? They got this new saying now that, you gotta have the spirit of God, the spirit of truth in you in order to you to receive. And I had to let him know, no, my brother, that is the rebuttal that they create to justify why certain things are not being answered accordingly. Because if I tell you that you need the spirit of that, then you will say, damn, so I'm not ready yet. I gotta keep fighting. I gotta keep studying. I gotta keep praying. I gotta keep going extra hard so I can receive this so-called truth. That was intentional, guys. So when you look into Charles C. Jones said that we must teach the Negroes how to respond to the recklers, the people that come in, the hecklers that come in and question this authority, to question the word of God. So we must bring particular individuals. We must teach them, give them the responses to certain questions and answers, and give them what they need to keep them under their control. And this is where you get what you get now. And now we have fast forward to 2025, where the number one saying is, well, if you don't believe and you don't believe in what I'm saying and you don't agree with what I'm saying, go look somewhere else. You know why it's easy to say go look somewhere else? Because there's 50 million different teachings and understanding of this one book, bro. 50 million different understandings of this one book. We got the Hebrews that got their own ideology behind it. You got the Christians that got their own ideology behind it. You got the Jewish people that got their own understanding behind it. But we are still not understanding that all of this is allegory, guys. This is allegory. I repeat, this is allegory. This has absolutely nothing to do with righteousness. This story cannot connect back to anything black. This thing can't connect back to Africa. This thing can't connect back to anything that's associated with us other than our enslavement. This is facts, people. This is not my belief. This is not my assumptions. This is not my assertions. I'm not standing here before you guys giving you a fairy tale that I can't prove. I can't tell you that they stole our records and I never seen the records. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that they are the copycats when they are the ones that's printing out all this understanding. They're the ones, we're literally relying on their resources to find out what we believe to be us. We're relying on them, and we're switching the narrative and say, you see, God said this, the devil can't change that. And it's like, nah, man, the devil is changing everything, because the book is about the devil. Ooh, did he just say that? Jesus, Revelation chapter 22, I think it's verse 16. I am Jesus, I am the morning star. This is Jesus that said that. This is not Jones, people. This is not me that said that. How is thou fallen from the sky, O Lucifer, son of the morning? You are the morning sun, morning star. You, sun. What is Jesus? The sun. Come on, people. Come on, people. We got to wake up and smell the Kool-Aid. That's literally in your book right now as we speak. Right now as we speak, Jesus is telling you he's the sun. He's the morning star. He's Lucifer. This is not a lie. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a make-believe. This is the honest truth. This is the honest truth, guys. You got to read it to see it. You got to read it for what it is. This is an allegory story. This is a story. This has nothing to do with righteousness. There's nothing righteousness. When you read the scriptures, there was nothing righteousness that was going on. Everything was about adultery and pure genocide. When you read it accordingly, it was adultery, genocide, and enslavement. That's literally what the book is about. Adultery, genocide, and enslavement. Prostitution, sleeping with children. This is what the book is telling you. This is not a righteous story. This has nothing to do with us. Everything about it cannot connect back to us. And you guys know this. You guys know this. You know this. The more I start going down the rabbit hole, the more I start digging, the more it starts to make sense. And it's like, wow, these people were really giving us a fairy tale story. But the question you got to ask is, but why? Could it possibly be the reason why they're giving us this is to have us under their control? You said it was always about control. It was never about your salvation. It was never about your uplifting. It was always about control. They control everything. Your thoughts, how you feel. Relationships are ruined because of religion. Families are destroyed and broken up because of religion. This is not me saying this. This is exactly what Jesus said he was going to do. Jesus said, I come not to bring peace on earth, but to divide. Jesus said, I don't come to bring peace. I come to divide. Look at our household. Look at our community. Look at our people. Here's a bunch of people that came off the shores of these ships together as one, as bondage, as cattle, as herds, as sheep. And now we all became divided based on indoctrination. Whether it's in school, whether it's religion, whether it's occupation, you are being programmed to be different, to separate. That's all intentional, guys. It's intentional. And I know I haven't done a live in a minute, but this live right here, this one right here, yeah, this is the one for the Joneses. This is the one for the Joneses, guys. This live right here. Because this live right here give us a clear understanding of what the heck is going on, guys. And this is facts. You understand? And this is facts. Again, this is not my belief. This is not my assumption. This is not nothing but me giving you the honest facts. Because these are the facts. Okay? And like I told the brother, and even the brother agreed, the brother said, yeah, man, you know, I'm really starting to see that there's really no truth in this earth. There's no truth. And people really believe that because they're reading the Bible now, they holding on some level of truth. No, sir. There's no truth you're holding on to. You're just holding on to European hypnosis that you believe is truth because they told you it was truth. They didn't tell you, oh, this is allegory. They didn't tell you that. You have to read, you have to do your own studies to know that this is allegory. If you go based on them teaching you, similar to children in school, the smartest child that knows about themselves and knows their history, you know, anything, are the ones that do the due diligence to find understanding. But if you go based on what they tell you and how they want you to function, then you're gonna literally just be sitting there just waiting for another story to come your way, to come your way, and whatever they tell you, you're just gonna follow, and you're gonna take it as being truth because of the position and title that these people have. All of that is intentional, guys, and we gotta break free from that. We gotta break free. You gotta break free. Nobody's gonna provide you with the true understanding of reality other than what you seek and what you see and what you read and what you feel with your own two eyes. Not being pre-indoctrinated, right? Religion is a pre-indoctrinated organization. It pre-indoctrinates you to fall into the state of belief. So when you are in that space, right? When you are in that space, when logic comes your way, you denounce it. Or if it doesn't make sense, you denounce it. You say, nah, bro, this is etc. It's because God didn't do this. No, fam, no. Everything that these people have been telling us is lies. I got a sister that's in Africa right now that is finding out that everything that she was told has been a lie. She's in Africa right now. As we speak, bro. As we speak. You coming to realize that the Exodus never happened. Damn, what else did never happen? Why they got two people in one stop, bro? You understand? People waking up and realizing like, wait, hold on. This Exodus joint never happened, bro. Because it never happened, people. It never, and I repeat, it never happened. And I'm sad. It saddens me that I'm the one to burst the bubble, and I'm gonna continue bursting the bubble until the bubble can't burst no more. Because it's time for us to step away from the hypocrisy and the lies and start stepping forward into finding out the facts. I can't even say step forward into the truth, because these people will never give the slaves the truth. You have to stand on facts, because the fact of the matter is these facts are what occur in our everyday lives and why we're suffering right now. This is facts. This is not no make-believe. This is not no assumption. This is not an assertion. These are the facts. So we got to get back to that. You understand? So that's my time, guys. I'm about to go knock these things out. Got to go inspect this apartment. And when I finish, I might come back. If I don't come back, then, you'll definitely see me later on tonight. I'll definitely try to come on tonight. Or if I don't come on tonight, then I'll definitely do a podcast and have it uploaded by Wednesday. So by Wednesday, you guys should have something that can let you go until the week, until that Monday. All right? It's your brother, man. Came to you guys live. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If it's your first time, hope it's not your last. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time, that means I'm still on your mind. That means we still on that grind, because it's about that time. Time for what? Time for you guys to go get yours. Because I am on that journey to go get mine. And I'm a holla. One.